Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we are taking a cheeky look at Cardano and specifically about it outperforming the rest of the crypto market. So if you do find this video useful, informative, then you know what to do. Smash up that like button. Chris really appreciates it, and so do I. And if by chance you're new to the channel and you want to be kept up to date with all the various videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto, then do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all of those juicy videos and live streams. Right, Chris, because this is a Cardano video, it's important that we talk about the decentralization effort with ADA, and specifically our delegation pool.
Yeah, so we set up the staking pool maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago now. It's progressing very well, right? We've got over 2 million ADA now delegated in such a short period of time, so I appreciate everybody that's delegated already. You guys are amazing. But if you're not delegating your ADA already, then you know, it's a fantastic thing to do in the respect of it supports the project in being more decentralized. You earn a passive income, and this week we are minting 2 blocks, and we've only got a few people in the pool, so basically that equates to 5 times the normal rewards. So you know, it's worth doing, guys. You know, for the passive income that you generate off of it. It's normally the average pool's about 5% APY, isn't it, a year? So so yeah, it's fantastic. You can do this using the ticker Cheek, and you can do that through the normal wallets, Nick, can't you?
Yeah, 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗪𝗦, Decentralisation, ADA Lite, etc. Yeah, so definitely do check it out. It's well worth delegating, even if it is not to our pool, but we do recommend delegating regardless. Right, so Chris, let's jump over to the desktop and talk a little bit about Cardano and how it's been performing.
Yeah, let's do it.
So a fun fact before we get started, Chris, yes, this is the Cardano website in the background, and yes, that little globe of decentralized nodes is moving in the background. It's something that I've seen a few times on the comments. Is that moving, or is it a trick of your eyes? It's moving, guys. So let's talk a little bit, Chris, about Cardano outperforming you know, the crypto market, right? And it's risen like 400% year to date. So this is absolutely fantastic because, you know, we were heavily invested in Cardano. It's by no stretch of the imagination our biggest investments, though. They do sit elsewhere. My biggest is XRP. Chris's is VeChain, but Cardano is jointly our second biggest position.
Yeah.
Right. So you know, Cardano, right, is ADA is the crypto asset, okay, or ADA, depending on, you know, how you want to pronounce it. But it's appreciated more than 400% so far this year. And this is, you know, truly thanks to the development team at IOG, formerly 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗥𝗦, and the fantastic work that they've been doing there, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, they've been moving mountains, haven't they? And they've gone about it in the right way, unlike you know, a lot of other projects. They've rebuilt it from the ground up, right? And yeah, you're going to have some releases coming up very soon, aren't you, Nick? That's going to just change. It's a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, they've recently you know, put the Mary hard fork onto their testnet, and that's due to move over at the end of February to the mainnet. And once that happens, then we're going to have you know, Plutus actually go over onto the testnet, and then from there that'll end up on the mainnet. And basically we're talking about the 𝗗𝗀𝗀𝗰𝗀 era. So we're currently in the 𝗕𝗘𝗪 era, right? And ultimately we're looking to progress to the next one, which is 𝗗𝗀𝗀𝗰𝗀, which is all about smart contracts and multi-asset support. So it's going to be really good stuff. And you know, whilst these updates, you know, are currently only on the testnet, you know, basically it is going to be moved over to the mainnet imminently, and that smart contract functionality is just around the corner. So this basically, you know, does transform Cardano into a decentralized finance platform. And some might think of it as a competitor to Ethereum. Charles Hoskinson doesn't really consider Ethereum a competitor, at least not according to his recent videos. And I have to agree with him. You know, it isn't really much of a competitor, given the fact that it is just not quite really up to the same kind of standard. And if you really know and understand Cardano, then you'll understand what we mean when we say that actually Ethereum, with some of its major issues, just does not compare to Cardano. I'm not sure if you agree with that, Chris, but that's my point, my stance.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this for an awful long time, haven't we? Around the fact that, you know, Ethereum have got a lot to do in order to sort out the mess that they're in at the moment with the gas fees and you know, the other stuff that they've got going on that needs to be resolved. I kind of feel like it's too little too late. It's going to take around 2 years to sort those scaling issues out, as well as the gas fees and all that stuff, right? And we don't know whether they're going to come across problems in trying to. I guess people use the analogy of remodeling a house, rebuild, you know, whereas Cardano have rebuilt it from scratch, right?
Yes,
that's always going to be better, right?
They spent a long time, you know, doing the research and designing something with a sole purpose in mind. Whereas Ethereum, you know, to be honest with you, it just feels like it's being strung together very poorly from the start, and it hasn't really adapted very well going forward. And therefore you have lots of problems with codes, you have outages, you have these ridiculous high gas fees that exist, specifically because everything has to be paid with that native asset Ether, and obviously people then speculate on the price of these things, and you know, you get that self-fulfilling prophecy. And there are some unfortunate people that are hurt in the process. These are the actual developers that develop on the platform, right? It's a very small pool of developers as well. It's not even that many. So it doesn't take a lot for those developers to potentially want to go elsewhere and take their dApps and move to a platform where they don't have to pay such ridiculous fees. So you can see how, you know, Ethereum is got a serious challenger in something like Cardano. But Chris, it's also worth potentially talking about what else happens with the Gsg era. Okay, so, you know, IOG, you know, this is obviously the development firm behind Cardano, you know, and you see Charles Hoskinson is the CEO of IOG. They basically announced that they will also be giving up the control of the new block production at the end of March, right? So March 31st. And this basically, you know, brings in that transition to Gsg. And I think that's a really important thing. It's really going to help the stake pool operators such as ourselves really achieve much better results. And, you know, helps just, you know, solidify, I guess, that decentralization effort. And obviously Cardano is already the world's most decentralized blockchain anyway. So they're doing some fantastic things around that regard. But that isn't the only news that's recently been announced, is it, Chris? Because we've spoken about Africa before as well.
Yeah, and I don't think people really, like, from what I've seen anyway, not everybody seems to grasp how big this Africa situation could be, right? And it's the start of things to come. And yeah, I kind of feel like Charles has been sort of like goating people, really, you know, because he's kind of playing it down. But for me, like, and I've said this, but way before there was even news on Cardano and Africa, we were talking about it from a slightly different angle, and that was Stellar Lumens, right? On a live stream, I think it was, around, you know, the fact that they're doing work out in Africa, and actually Africa is like going to be the new China of the world, really. And I don't think a lot of people realize that they're actually sat on an awful lot of resource, right? It's huge. Like, they've got more resource than a lot of the rest of the world, right? And, you know, there was talk at one stage where Africa was gonna, you know, potentially set up their own central bank, and then have their currency tied to the resource that they're sat on, right? Which could potentially bankrupt the rest of the world, right? Like, literally. So I don't think people quite understand and grasp how big this is, and I think there is an economic war going on behind the scenes, in my opinion. It's only my opinion, guys. But, you know, for me, with what we're hearing about Cardano, that just makes me even more bullish on the project. Charles is a very clever guy. I don't necessarily always agree and see eye to eye with everything that he says, but that's fine. it would be a boring world if you got on and agreed with everything that everybody said, right? So it's fine, and I think that brings debate about it and gets people talking. I think that's a good thing. But Africa, just circling back to Africa, I think it's huge. I don't think people have grasped. You're talking 5 million extra users on the network, Nick. I can't
It's
remember.
going to be potentially more than that, but yeah, they're looking at bringing in a few million.
Huge. Yeah, it's going to be huge long term, right? For me, that's just one piece of news. There is so much more going on. It's a fantastic project, right? Like, it is. That's why it's second in our portfolios, Nick.
It really is, and it won't take it that much longer before it becomes first. So we do have to watch that space, and we'll obviously update everyone as and when we make those changes to our portfolios. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be millions of users potentially added, and obviously, they can't really confirm anything yet because they're only in the final stages of this very large government contract, and we will eventually hopefully get that across the line, or Cardano will get that across the line, and ultimately see that multi-million users being onboarded, right? So it's going to be some real-world adoption happening here for a blockchain. This is the scale that we all in this particular space dream of. So it's going to be fantastic to see it happen, and it couldn't happen to a better blockchain, Chris, I don't think.
No, I agree. And I was going to say, and these are the things, right? If you've been watching us for a while, you'll start to see this more and more with the projects that we choose to invest in, right? We're looking for projects that are undervalued, and this was undervalued when we were looking at it, and I still think it is today, based on what we're talking about, right? And same with Stellar and various other ones. VeChain would be another one, but they've got real good use case in the real world, and that is kind of like the next step in how these projects and tokens are going to be valued in the future, right? So if it hasn't got a real life use case as such, then those are the projects that are likely to sort of dwindle away. Obviously go do your own research. Don't take what we say as gospel truth, or any other YouTuber or influencer on any of the other platforms. You've got to do your own research. But with all that said, this is one of the reasons why we invested in Cardano. We loved what they were doing.
Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's going to continue for a while yet. Cardano, it just ticks so many fantastic boxes for the world. So guys, hopefully you have found this video useful and informative. So if you have, then definitely do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really does appreciate it, and so do I. And if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, then do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the various videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all of this said, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.